Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Faith. Happy New Year to you all. So today I'll be showing you a tutorial on how I made this gown. It's a simple gown and very easy to make. So if this sounds like something you are interested in, please stay tuned and watch till the end. Don't forget to like, share, comment and also subscribe for more tutorials. Okay. Okay guys, so to begin with the tutorial, I already drafted a basic gown block. Both the front and the gown, it's a short block. It's not for a long dress because we won't be needing a complete block. So that shows 35 inches. I have the front and the back. Okay, so now what I want to do is to cut out the front block. We'll have to separate them and then work with them individually. So that's my CB and SB and then CF and SF. So I'll separate the patterns now. We need to separate the basic bodies from the skirts. We'll work with them individually, okay? And then I'm going to be transferring the bust dart to the waist dart when I'm done cutting. Okay, so I already started cutting before I started videoing. I'll just cut it out now and then we'll continue with our alteration process. Now I'll set the back aside, and when we are done with the front, we'll continue with the back. Now I'll go ahead and separate the basic bodies from the skirt. Okay, now so this is the skirt part, that's the front skirt, and this is the basic bodies for the front. We'll be transferring the bust dart to the waist dart, so I'll cut that out open like so, and then I'll also do the same thing for the waist dart. Cut it open and then I'll flip it over like that to close the bust dart. I initially wanted to have a triangular shape there to make it easy to make up for the excess we have there, but that wasn't done properly, so I'll just use this extra paper to finish it up there. Okay, so now I've transferred the bust dart to the waist dart, and I'll just blend that place up there so that I can have it smooth, and then I'll trim out the excess paper that we have there. Okay, so that's done. Now for the waist dart, I'm going to trim out those ones there, the dart legs, the excess inside that was created by the dart legs. Okay, so that's it. Next thing will be for us to alter the neckline. Initially the neckline is 3 by 3, but now on the shoulder I went out by 1 inch extra. Now for the neck depth, I want to make it 6.5, so I'll just connect those 2 points together now, like so. Next will be for me to cut it out. Now our front block is ready. We'll move on to the skirt, and what we need to do for the skirt first is to close the waist dart. I won't be needing that, so I'll close it up. Okay, next thing we're going to do now is to determine the length of our basque, and what I did was I divided my hip circumference by 3, and I had 13 inches. Now that side is the center front side, so I went up by 1 inch on that side. I decided to use a pin so that it can stay, the tape wasn't holding it. Okay, so on the hip side, that's now this is the center front. Okay, like I said, I divided my hip circumference by 3 and I arrived at 13. That's for it to be at my crouch level. And then on the side, I went up by 1 inch from the hip line there. Now all I have to do is to connect these 2 points together, like so. Okay, and then I don't need the down part, the remaining part, so I'll just cut it out and discard that. So this is the skirt pattern. Can you see? Now when I close my dart, you can see that my waistline will be equal. Okay, so I'll set this aside now and then work on the back. So for the back, same way, I'll separate my basic bodice from the skirt, and then I'll just close the dart on the back. I don't want to sew any dart there, so I'll close it up so that the back can have a seamless look. Okay, now remember on the shoulder we went out by 1 inch, so you do the same thing for the back, for the shoulder there. Now I want to maintain the neck depth for the back, so I'll just connect that 1 inch back to what I have on the neck depth and then trim off the excess there. Okay, so we are done with the back basic block. Now we move on to the skirt, and first thing we do, just like we did for the front, is to close the waist dart. Okay, now that that is done, I'll repeat the same process just like I did for the front. On the hip line there, I went up by 1, then for the center back, I came down by 13 inches from the waistline. Okay, now I'll connect the 2 points to have that basket effect at the back also, and then I'll trim off, I'll cut it out rather. Okay, and I have the back pattern ready. Can you see? And our back is ready. Okay, now the next thing is for us to determine the length of our gathers, which will be attaching to the back style line on the skirt. Now there are 2 methods to do this. First, you either take your hip circumference and multiply by 3, and then whatever you have will be the fullness you have. Or another method you do is you measure what you have on that basket effect for the front, and also do the same thing for the back. Now remember that for the front we'll be needing 2, because this center front is representing one side of the front, and the back is also representing another, just one side of the back. So that's like 22, because I had 11 each for both, times 2, and that gave me 44. Now that 44 I multiplied it by 3, which gave me 132. and that became the fullness I will be needing to gather and then attach to that basque effect there. Now for the length of the gathers, now the full length of the gown, because it's a full gown, was 58 inches. So what I did now was to remove the length of the basic block plus the length of the upper side of the skirt, which has the basque effect. Now you know we got 13 inches for that basque effect, so that's 17 plus 13, and that gave me 30. Okay, I hope you understand that. The basic block length is 17, and then for this upper part of the skirt I had 13, which gave me 30. Now 58 minus 30 is going to give me 28. Now I have to add allowance of 2 inches, that's hemming allowance, and that gave me 30 inches. So the length of the gathers which I'll be needing is going to be 30 inches. Okay, now these are the materials I'll be working with. This my fabric is a light crepe. You can see it's very light. Okay, and I have 4 yards here, and I'll also be needing my zipper. Don't forget your thread, your scissors, and other things. Okay, so now we'll proceed to cutting. Alright guys, so I've fold my fabric here. Now when I wanted to remove the 132 inches, I discovered I was left with just some few inches, so I decided to just use everything. Okay, so now this is me marking out the 30 inches for the length. Okay, now I'll just connect those points to have a straight line there, and then I will go ahead to cut that off. Okay, now that I have this out, I'll just set it aside. I'll be using the leftover which I have here to cut all the other patterns which we have in pieces. Now this is the center front for the basic block. I've gone ahead to add all the necessary allowance, and I added half an inch, then 2 inches on the side seam, then half an inch all around. Okay, now I'll just cut out like so. Can you see? Now I didn't explain the dart. You see that I didn't add just half inch and then cut out the dart. That's because we'll be creating an effect there. I'll fold the dart, then sew it to the underbust, and then I'll leave what is left for just like a style there. Okay, so that's how we'll be sewing the dart. Now this is the back. I added 1 inch for zipper, then 2 inches on the side seam, and then half an inch all around. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut it out now. Okay, so this is the center front for the skirt. I started cutting before I realized I wasn't recording. Now you can see that's half an inch I added on the hem there, and then 2 inches on the side. You can see that for the side there, please don't take it up straight. When you get to the edge there, just curve it out please, so that you don't make that mistake. Okay, now this is the back. I added 1 inch for zipper, 2 inches on the side, and then half an inch on the other sides. Okay, alright, so now that we have all our pattern cut out, I decided to use a facing to knitting the neckline, and this is the style of facing I'll be cutting. Now I'm tracing the neckline, then I'll also trace out the shoulder complete. And because this dress is a sleeveless dress, I need to trace out the whole armhole also, because I'll be needing the facing to knitting the armhole. And then on the side seam there, you want to come down also. Now for the center front, I chose to come down at the bust line there. Okay, now I've placed that mark there, so I'll be connecting it with a straight line. You can see on the side seam there, I came down by 2 inches. I decided to come down there by 2 inches. Yes, that's from the armhole there. I came down by 2 inches, and I'll be connecting it straight to the center front. Okay. Okay, so now that I have that, I'll just cut it out. Okay, so our facing for the front is ready. Now I'll go ahead and cut the one for the back. Just that the one for the back will be a little different, but still I'm going to be tracing out my neckline, and then on the center back I'll also come down. I'll trace out that line there. Okay, trace out my shoulder line complete and the armhole also. Now on the side seam, I'll also come down by 2 inches, just like I did for the front. Okay, and then at the center back, I decided to come down by 4 inches. Now I didn't want to measure to go down straight like that to connect it straight to the armhole there. So you can see when I came down by that 4 inches on the center back, I just took it straight from there, connected it, and then when I got to the side of the armhole, I decided to create that curve down to connect it to that 2 inches on the side seam there. Okay, so you can see how it looks. Now I'll cut it out and place it on the bodice for you to see how it looks. Okay, so can you see, this is how the facing for the back looks, and this is the front. Now to continue, first thing we're going to be sewing the neckline. Now you want to notch your dart, because now we're going to be removing the paper, so you want to have that notch there so that you can easily recognize where you'll be putting your darts together, your dart legs together rather. So I'll go ahead and sew the neckline now. Can you see? I'm done with the neckline. Next thing will be for us to join the shoulder, and because this is a sleeveless and we need to knit in the neckline, this is how you're going to be joining the shoulder. Fabric to fabric, lining to lining, straight like so. Make sure you have the 2 neck points there together, and then you sew it straight. Okay, so I'll do for both now. Alright guys, so this is it. Next thing will be for us to knit in the armhole, and to do that you're going to be opening up your shoulder seam line and then cross them over. That's the right side facing right side. Let me do that again. You open it like so, like it's like this, then you open it up and then just turn it over so that you have the right side facing the other right side of the lining, and then you just fold it out straight. Make sure you have it with the lining to be neatly together. Now you're going to be sewing on 1/2 inch straight like so, And what I want you to do before you do that is remember we added 2 inches seam allowance to the side. Please take out that 2 inches because you won't be sewing into the 2 inches there. And likewise the back, you do the same thing, and then from that 2 inches you sew on half an inch to the other 2 inches on the other side. Okay, so this is what I was explaining. Can you see? Now the next thing is just for you to turn it out. Alright, I'll do the same thing for the other side, and then I'll go to my ironing table and give it a good press, and then we can continue. Okay guys, so I've pressed it down. Can you see now that it's neat now? Now the next thing is for us to sew this dart, and I already went ahead to do one. Now what I did is I'll be explaining it with the second one. Okay, now you can see that the dart has been folded down all along. Okay, so what you do is the 2 points that you notched, you make sure that you put them together, they align, and then from the shoulder you mark where you have your underbust measurement. Now my shoulder to my underbust is 13 inches. So from the shoulder you can see that I came down by 13 inches and I placed that mark there. Now I'm going to be sewing from the waistline to where that mark is, and then I will leave the rest. That's what is going to just create that style that I have on the underbust there. Okay guys, so can you see I've done that, and this is how I pressed it. Instead of pressing it like so, I decided to open it up and then press it like this so that I have that cone like shape there. Can you see? Okay, so on the outside this is what it will look like. Alright, now the next thing for us to do is to attach the skirt part to the front and then to the back. You can see I created a notch there. You want to do that so that you know how to fix it properly, and then you fix the ones for the back also. Okay, this is it. To move forward, the next thing will be for us to be closing our side seam, and you want to make sure your armhole aligned properly where you have that 2 inches mark there. Make sure you align it very well so that you can have a neat look there, and then you make sure you input your waist circumference measurement, divide by 4, whatever you have, you input it on the waist, and then the same thing for the hip line, though we went up by 2 inches, 1 inch rather, from the waist, from the hip line, but still you can input your hip measurement there, and then you repeat the same process also for the other side. It's the same thing. Okay, it's the same process for both sides, and don't forget to repeat the same process for the lining, that's the facing you have there. Even though it's small, you want to sew it down also on both sides. Alright, so I'll do that now and then we'll continue. Okay, so this is it. Can you see I've sewn it? Alright, now the next thing will be for us to come with the other one, which is for the gathers. And what you want to do is open up your fabric, and then you want to run a loose stitch all the way from one end to the other end, and then you're going to use that stitch to pull it together, which is what I've done now. Can you see? Now you want to make sure that from one end of your basque effect there to the other end, that you have enough gathers to go around everything that you have there. Okay, so when you want to do that and make sure that they are equal, All right, so when you are sure now that they are equal, all you have to do is to join from one end to the other on 1/2 inch, right side facing right side, and then you just sew straight down. Make sure you follow all the shape so that you can have your basque effect there. Okay, alright guys, so this is it. I've done that. Now what is left now is for us to close the back and then fix our zipper. Okay, you want to make sure your zipper extends to the hip line a little so that you can wear it comfortably. Also, don't forget to serge your facing, or you can just fold it once or twice like so. You fold it all around, and then you're also going to hem your gown also, so don't forget that. I'll do everything now, and this is the finished look. Okay, can you see? This is how the gown looks on me, and I think it's beautiful. Thank you.